everyone. I'm Jeff Hampton with the Hampton Law Firm. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about open container laws in Texas and how can they affect a possible DWI case. This is a question that's brought up to me where people say, I haven't been drinking, but there might be an open container in my vehicle. Can I really be arrested for DWI? I appreciate you joining us. If you enjoy this content, I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content just like this. By the way, if you wait around to the end of this video, I'll also give you a free ebook, The Ultimate Guide to DWI Defense in Texas. Okay, let's start talking about open container laws in Texas. What are the rules? How can this affect you? What type of crime is an open container violation? What are you looking at? Generally, look, everyone knows DWI. They have a pretty good idea that you're not supposed to drink and drive. And if you get arrested for a DWI in your first offense, it's a misdemeanor charge, and then it just goes up from there. But here's the thing, when it comes to open container laws in Texas, Texas takes a very stiff stance, a very tough stance on open containers. And basically under the law, any car occupant at all, anyone in a vehicle is forbidden from having an open container in the passenger area of a motor vehicle. That's literally everywhere someone could ride, including a back seat. And the penalty applies to the driver no matter who is actually drinking or who has the open container in the car. So why does that matter? Well, people say, what counts? Well, obviously an open cup, a cup with some type of alcoholic substance within there, that counts as an open container. But also cans, as long as there's a seal broken, as long as there's a cap off the top of the alcoholic beverage, that counts as an open container. There are two exceptions. If you have a camper, all right, if you're riding around in an RV, you are allowed, there is an exception that's provided under the law. So these are specifically defined as, these campers have to be designed as homes or living spaces that allows them to be exempt. But you can also have an exemption for limousines and taxis. Now, the reason why I say that is many of you maybe have been in a limousine at some point in your life for prom or whatever. And if you've been in a limousine, you notice some of them have these full bars, these little mini bars that are in there. The reason why that's permitted is there is an exception for limousines and for taxis. So that's the example. Now let's talk about penalties. Okay, if you possess an open container, generally that is a Class C misdemeanor. And Class C misdemeanors are punishable by up to a $500 fine and no jail time. Now that by itself sounds like a pretty simple thing and not that big of a deal, maybe on the same range as a traffic violation. But the problem is an open container can act as an aggravating factor that can lead to the police officer deciding to do a full-blown DWI investigation. Now, let me paint a picture for you. Now, usually if someone pulls you over for something, if a police officer pulls you over, he's looking for some type of reasonable suspicion to pull you over, okay? He's looking for you to commit a traffic violation. Maybe you're speeding, fail to use a signal. Maybe you don't stop right at the place you're supposed to, at the stop sign or at the intersection. And they look for any small traffic violation to get you over. Now, let's say you haven't been drinking at all. Okay? If you haven't been drinking, but they happen to see what looks like an open container in the vehicle, you don't have any smell of alcoholic beverage on your breath, but there's an open container. I can promise you this, 99 out of 100 times, if that police officer sees an open container, what starts off as a small citation is now going to lead to this police officer asking you to step out of the vehicle, and you are now going to have to perform field sobriety tests. I've seen it over and over again. Here's the problem with that. Field sobriety tests aren't always very fair. They're also not exactly accurate. 2 out of the 3 types of field sobriety tests, the walk and turns test and the one-leg stand test, both of those are basically physical tests. And if you're not very coordinated, or maybe there's lots of reasons why. Maybe you're older, you don't have the coordination. Maybe you're just generally not very coordinated. Maybe you have balance problems. Maybe you're overweight. All of these can be reasons why someone, according to the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, they say that can be a reason why someone would not perform well on these tests. Well, what happens if you fail 2 out of those 3 tests? You're going to jail. And now you have been arrested for a driving while intoxicated case when you haven't even been drinking. So I say that because it's really important that open containers can be used as an aggravating factor that can lead to an actual arrest. So what are the legal ways to keep alcohol in your vehicle? What are the things that you should do? Outside of taxis or motorhomes, open alcohol containers must be secured when present in a vehicle. And let me just kind of read some of this to you here. So merely just storing it in your back seat or with someone else other than the driver, that's not acceptable. The two best places to keep it is in your glove compartment and in your trunk. Okay. If it's kept there, the officer is not going to cite you or use that as a basis to then try to administer field sobriety tests in a full-blown DWI investigation. All right, so I hope this helped you a little bit. Some people think that an open container is not that big of a deal, and it's just a Class C ticket. By itself, it may not be, but please understand, most police officers in Texas are not going to stop right there. They're going to continue on with this, and you can end up spending a night in jail and facing at least a Class B misdemeanor DWI because of this type of offense. Now, I promised you if you waited around to the end of this video, I would give you a free ebook, The Ultimate Guide to DWI Defense in Texas. All you have to do is click the link right here below and insert your information. We'll be glad to email you over that ultimate guide. And I look forward to seeing you on our next video series and hope you learned something from this today. I encourage you to go back and look at some of our other DWI videos that give you even more content just like this. Thanks again. Have a great day.